Adam, do you have kids?
No.
Grand, cool.
What's that? What?
It's like, wait, what's going on? Because I'm trying to think, because I also don't have kids, so I don't have much of an excuse for why I'm going to sit down and watch a kid's Star Trek show, but I'm gonna.
Are you talking about Prodigy?
I'm talking about Star Trek Prodigy.
Yes. Yeah, I saw the images for that, and I was like, okay, interesting. And the thing is, though, I saw the picture before I saw the headline, and I didn't know what it was. And I was like, oh, and then it was like, oh, this is from Star Trek Prodigy. And I was like, oh, several questions. First being, what the hell? I think a lot of people are quite surprised by this from what I've seen, because I think from the teased bits of information we'd had so far, like, it is going to be predominantly focused on a younger sort of audience, and also Janeway is going to be in it, who we all know sort of moved on after the Voyager thing became sort of an admiral, stayed in Starfleet. And everybody just sort of assumed, oh, it's a Starfleet Academy show. Oh, it's going to be like a Star Trek teen drama. That's pretty much what we're getting here. And this reveal is like, no, it's not like that at all. It's like a really original concept. We don't really know what direction it's going to go in, but it's not the one we thought. So, yeah, it's piqued my interest more than I thought it was going to.
Same. Like, I'm really on board with the designs. It was just not at all what I was expecting. It's the first entirely non-human crew in any Star Trek series. So I don't know what they will end up doing with that, but it means that there's a whole, there's any number of directions they could go in. They haven't confirmed yet where and when it's set, because there's the thing of, they've said she's back as Captain Janeway. Now, I don't know if that's a deliberate, hey, this is not going to be in the Alpha Quadrant, or whether that was just everyone knows her as Captain Janeway, and so we said Captain Janeway. Yeah,
my initial reaction to that was, if you say Admiral Janeway to all but like the top 10% hardcore Star Trek fans, will be like, oh, I wonder if that's any relation to Captain Janeway, or oh, is that the same person? I don't she's only Admiral Janeway. Like, technically in the canon, she's only Admiral Janeway for about a 40-second cameo in Star Trek Nemesis. Every other appearance she's ever made has been as Captain Janeway. So I just think that's more good bookkeeping than it is a reveal about the story or anything like that. Although they could have said, if it wasn't going to be Captain Janeway, there is the other side of this. They could have just said she returns as Catherine Janeway and left the captain part out entirely if they wanted to. So while I am being very measured and very cautious and very sensible and very logical about this, also at the same time,
I'm wildly theorizing here. What if it's set in the Delta Quadrant and she's actually just the voice of the computer? The reason I'm thinking of that, because there's a line in the breakdown of the series that says, follows a group of young people who basically steal a seemingly abandoned Starfleet vessel. Now, what could that mean? Is because hardly, as Janeway was working on the engine as they, kind of hopped in and stole the ship. Or what if she's an EMH? What if she's...
I have absolutely... Well, this is the thing. Like, they've left themselves so much room to do whatever they want with this. Like, I don't know how you find an abandoned Starfleet vessel in the Delta Quadrant which has anything to do with Janeway, which we wouldn't already know about. Like, the Delta Flyer was, I think... did they blow it up at the end, or was it just neatly sitting in the hangar for the last episode? Either way, it's not like floating around completely lost in space. And likewise, the Equinox that we saw, that
quite definitively went boom.
That met a fairly definitive end. So I don't know how you tie anything Starfleet related to Janeway in the Delta Quadrant, which we don't already know about, without them doing some kind of actually, there was another, we just didn't tell you about it, which... I don't know. I always think it's a bit of a. There's so many loose threads with Star Trek you can pick up, which will automatically get people on board. I never understand the theorizing or the logic behind just pulling something out of fresh air. But this is the thing. I think it deliberately not told us a lot of things because it invites these kind of conversations, it invites this kind of speculation about it. It helps to drive the hype train, so to speak. So honestly, anything involving Kate Mulgrew, which looks like it's got his heart set in the right place, has me on board.
No, I totally agree. I will unashamedly watch a kids show or not. I still catch reruns of some kids shows. I'm like that. It's cool. Couple of other bits in the article. Not an awful lot to go on, but pretty good news. Obviously, we had our 21 weeks of Trek going 2020 into 2021. I don't know how many weeks yet, but Discovery season 4.
It's gonna be a lot. It's gonna be a lot.
It's you know, kind of either they double up on. Actually, gee, oh my god, I'm going to stop myself before I say that. Double up on weeks. Can you imagine? The sleep just wouldn't happen anymore.
Look, in fairness, at least these are just 2-hour shows. Like, well, they're like 2 1-hour shows. You know what I mean? So in theory, it's fine. I don't want to make it all about us, is what I'm saying. But I just think, you know, I don't think these studios with their money and their nice suits and their big houses and their 3 kids think much about the impact this has on content creators. But you know what? Like I said, it's obviously the bravest profession in the world, what we do. So it's just nice to that be recognised by at least anybody in the. I don't mind if people want to say we're braver than soldiers and nurses. It's not for me to comment. But if you want to put that in the comments, I'd probably be on board with it.
I ain't touching that one. That's a
joke. I just realised
I'm not touching that one with the barge pole. Yeah.
I realised I've just done the thing on YouTube of thinking everyone will get the joke when I've been doing this longer. I don't think we're braver than nurses. Soldiers, yes, but obviously not nurses.
Just as Adam's getting cancelled there, was it so?
It's about time, to be honest.
It's like you might get a break, like, you know, that's sit in the cancel bin for like a few days. You'd be grand.
Look, I'm uncancelable. I'm a white man on the internet. I will get cancelled. Talk loudly about how I have been cancelled on several high-profile platforms, and then just get another job somewhere else. So it's fine. I'd love a little cancel break.
Actually, stunningly accurate. Section 31. Were you looking forward to that?
Yes, I am. I think the best thing about Star Trek is always Starfleet. Like, I think that's fundamentally the beating heart of the show and how these people interact with, you know, this exploration, defense, like this organization. It pretty much sums up everything that we like about the show. And I am totally on board for shows going in other directions with that completely. Like, I am. Like, Discovery, this season of Discovery is still Starfleet, but it's a very different kind of Starfleet, so it's doing something new. Picard is not a Starfleet show at all. Prodigy feels like it won't be a Starfleet show at all. Lower Decks is Starfleet as we've never seen it before. I am excited about Section 31 as a show, but again, that will be another, this isn't a very Starfleet show. And I just think Strange New Worlds is going to have to do a lot of heavy lifting for the overwhelming chunk of the fan base that really wants a Starfleet show. So I'm on board with it conceptually. I just hope the execution is there.
I very much think the one I'm most excited about right now is Strange New Worlds. 100%.
I think a lot of people are, because we've enjoyed our little shows that have explored the wider universe of Star Trek, but I think everybody is kind of ready now just for a very classic Star Trek show, and I'm hoping that's what they do with Strange New Worlds. Again, I really like Lower Decks, and I really like Picard, and I really like Discovery, but the thing that first brought me into Star Trek is not really present in those shows, and as much as I enjoy them, I would actually quite like that back at some point.
Yeah, and I think that's fair. I think that's fair to say. It's like, new is good, same is good too. You know?
Yes.
You know,
yes, that's exactly it. New is good, but same is also good. And if you've got as much money as Paramount, I can have it all, so...
That's the nice thing. It's like, thank God for those billions of dollars. It looks like, as well, Section 31, so in this article, that we're not getting that for a while. It looks like they're saying at least one of the current shows is going to wrap up. I'd say the smart money is on Picard. That one seems like it has the most definite shelf life.
That is the one with an 80-year-old in the central starring role. I would definitely say that Picard has a shorter shelf life than the other shows available. Plus, the story they were kind of trying to tell with that, we didn't go into season 2 thinking like, oh, what's going to happen? It was just like, oh, that's nice. They're a little crew. That'll be fun. So they've kind of got to start a brand new story for this season. There's no like huge things that need to be wrapped up. So I would be very happy with one more season of Picard where they go gallivanting and he gets to relive his old Starfleet days. And yeah, there's not a lot to tell there with that story. It does feel like Picard's personal journey is as pretty much like he's wrapped up the thing with Data, which kind of was the major loose end of his character. And now, what is there?
Kind of like, it's going to be lovely, you know, if we see Geordi, if we see Worf, whatever, but is that, business hat on, is that worth the millions and millions of dollars it will cost to make?
Well, it's not my money, so to me, yes, it absolutely is. I just want to stop you there. Is it worth millions of dollars for them to go get Geordi and get Worf and do a whole other season? Yes, it is, because I will not be paying penny one of that. So,
you know what? Actually, on that logic, can we just get all of the original cast? Okay, basically, just make a Sulu show. Oh, that'd be great.
Is it worth them spending the money to make a Sulu show?
Absolutely, I think it is. Yeah,
Not my money. No, I don't care.
That's pretty much it for news. I think was there anything else? Oh yeah, the only thing, this is not exactly a massive thing, but it's not going to be like, even though there's so many series at the moment, there's no Marvel universe, everyone's telling the same story kind of tie-in. They were like, no, like Star Trek is the link. You know, it's not like, you won't have, reading between the lines, Control's not going to rock up in Picard. Giorgio potentially won't rock up in Strange New Worlds, even though I suppose she could, but that kind of thing. So that's fine to me. I like them being,
Yeah, I like the connective tissue between Discovery and Strange New Worlds and how they basically used that to launch it. I like that they did that. There's obviously like, there's so much wider stuff in Star Trek that you can draw from to have those like elements of a shared universe. You don't need to force the shows you're currently doing into it. And to be fair, I know people will sit there and go, oh, it would be really cool if they did it. But if you cast your mind back to the sort of that very brief period. So we had Next Generation, we had Voyager, we had Deep Space Nine. I know there wasn't so much there wasn't a huge overlap between all the shows, but we never got the Enterprise in Deep Space Nine. And aside from the pilot episodes, we never got anything that really brought them together, only the occasional cameo. There was never some like season-long arc where, Deep Space Nine was trying to find Voyager, or, the Enterprise was getting dragged into stuff around there. Like, it's just, these shows have historically always been in isolation. Now, yes, you can argue because they were all set in very different parts of the galaxy, but
potato, it's fine. I think that pretty much brings us up to date on news. Bring on 2021's slate of Star Trek and let's get watching.
What dates have we got for all this?
Nada. No dates yet. So for Disco Season 4, Lower Deck Season 2, it just has 2021.
That's a date. That's it. We know they're coming this year. That's a date.
There you go. All right, cool. So I take back exactly what I said. 2021.
2021 for Discovery and Strange New Worlds.
Strange New Worlds, yeah. And then you have Picard Season 2 and Lower Decks. Lower Decks and Disco are both definitely 2021.
Right.
Prodigy is 2021 as well. Strange New Worlds and Picard, no date on it yet, but...
So just to clarify, 3 new seasons of Star Trek this year.
I'm excited.
Interesting.
I'm excited.
Fascinating.
Yeah. Well, we had that in 2020. Picard, Lower Decks, and...
As everybody's aware, 2020 didn't actually happen, so it's going to be weird. This is the thing. They've probably looked at like the viewing figures from 2020 and thought, wow, we could get away with doing 3 seasons in the same year. The uptake on them was great. Loads of people watched them. Honestly, you want to try that when we can all go outside? I think you might be in for a shock, Paramount.
Why are the viewing figures down? It's because nobody's looking at screens.
Yeah, genuinely. Like, every show I have watched in 2020, I was very grateful for. Lower Decks, Discovery, Picard. Genuinely, I know Picard before was all that carry-on started, but having these things to fall back on in comforting, familiar universes was so good. No, you will have to physically hold me down to binge watch a season of a TV show. If I'm look at this. You can't even. It's bleached out. The sun coming through this window, and it's only the end of February. That's going to get warmer, and when that gets warmer, my sofa's going to get a lot colder. Let me tell you. Wrap it up. That's it.
It's like where do you go from there? Thank you very much for joining me today. You're a legend. Everyone, check out Trek Culture on Twitters, on the YouTubes, on all of them, and we will bring you news as and when it comes in. Adam, you're a legend.
What's the Twitter handle, Sean?
It's at Trek Culture. Nice and handy.
What's your Twitter handle, Sean?
At Sean Ferrick. What's your Twitter handle, Adam?
At Adam Cleary, Clery. Thank you very much, everybody. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe. We've been legends, and you've been all right. We'll see you later.